Our culture of gathering for women is unique and defining. Each woman served, they're valued and recognized. They're greeted by name and supported in our caring environment. We have a small growing staff, and we have a comprehensive and dedicated group of volunteers who make the difference every day. We couldn't do what we do without our volunteers. Our volunteers are the ones that make things happen. I'm honored and delighted to invite my friend, Kimberly Gilbert, to the podium to share her experience as a volunteer.
Hi, I'm Kimberly, and they were nice enough to ask me to talk about my volunteer experience. And I haven't done much public speaking, so hope I can get through it. But thank you all for being here. This just means the world that you're choosing to support our future goals. It's just awesome to see you out there. I've done quite a bit of volunteering in my life, particularly during the time when my husband and I were raising our 3 boys, and was always signing up for something, school, church, sports, scouts, and so we really enjoyed it, and we were active during that time. And once our kids went through college and got out on their own, it was time for me to choose something that really resonated with me. And I knew the world's too big to solve, so I knew I had to focus on our own community here. And I was very interested in working with women. So it didn't take long to find out the statistics about this demographic of homeless women on the Monterey Peninsula. I mean, I was just shocked to know that. So I wanted to jump in somewhere. And it's kind enough, Ann Packer and I crossed paths, and she mentioned Gathering for Women and introduced me to the luncheon and to that beehive of activity and compassion and joy that the women were exhibiting. And they had me right there. I didn't have to learn anything else. So I got situated to be a volunteer, and I've been working for this last year, helping them out. And I've gone to nearly every Tuesday luncheon, and very many of Wednesdays I've spent at the service center. So I kind of wanted to throw myself out there and see if I could meet as many volunteers, as many guests, as many people in leadership, and see what it was all about and decide what I liked best. It turns out I kind of like all of it, so it's really hard to decide where to jump in. But I stayed in those positions and tried to learn as much as I could and be helpful, and I've just been blown away by this organization. And I have to say that it comes from the leadership. Our board is magnificent, and to see them, first of all, with all their personal talents and histories and resumes, but to see them there working face to face with the homeless population and our guests, as well as having their sleeves rolled up right there with all of us, the volunteers, is so impressive. And it's one of their philosophy to treat us with just tremendous respect and deference, and I have never been treated that nicely as a volunteer. They want to make sure you're plugged into an activity that you enjoy, and you're having some fun, and that you're learning and growing. And when you're dealing with this population, there's always something to learn. Every time we volunteer, all of us comment, "Oh my gosh, I've learned about 10 things today," and you feel a little stronger and a little braver and a little more fortified to be a positive force in their lives. And a lot of that comes from the leadership. And they're just, I can't say enough. And one of the wonderful things they do is we have a debriefing kind of every Tuesday right after our luncheon. And we all sit in a casual circle with, the leadership and the volunteers, and everyone has a voice. You could be the person in the kitchen or the person who's arranging flowers or whatever issues come up, whatever. Everyone has a voice, and they not only listen, but our new executive director, Jennifer, as well, is there. They all have these professional backgrounds in social work and organizational things, and they have so much professional information to share with us. I feel like it's a mini in-service every week, and I know I've talked to other volunteers and they feel the same way. We're just treated so well. So it makes working for this organization super easy and very joyful, and we do have a lot of fun. I think about line dancing and karaoke and a couple of things, and I definitely have quite a few laughs. But I've loved the experience. It has exceeded all my expectations, and I just wanted to close by sharing one instance. There's so many, but I chose one because it was so poignant for me as an individual and really stayed with me. And I think it kind of highlighted something very important for me. I was at the service center, and I had just started volunteering. I had only worked in the clothes closet and personal care area for maybe 2 or 3 times. And the woman who generally would be modeling and training with me had to leave early that day. So she asked if I could stay a little bit longer and tidy up and close up. And I said, sure, no problem. So I did what I thought I knew how to do thus far. And the office manager approached and said, hey, do you think you could stay a little bit longer? We have a guest who just came in and it's kind of an emergency situation and she really needs pretty much one of everything and she really needs us to help her out. And I thought, okay, no problem, at all. I thought, I've been doing this all day. But when the guest turned the corner and was facing the Dutch door where I work to hand out, things and serve them, I was stunned because she was it was winter, and she was wearing a very light shift, some slippers, and there was evidence of a black eye, and she was on the arm of her friend and obviously distraught. So for a split second, you are stunned, and then you just pull yourself together with a deep breath and you think, I've been doing this all day. I've been doing this all day. I can do this. And you put a smile on your face and this person is introduced to you and you do what you've been trained to do and what you've had the experience of doing. And somewhere in deciding immediately that she needed some clothes to wear among everything else, somehow in my brain, I kept thinking about this mantra that the leadership kept passing on when we had, you should say, oh, they're just women. They're just women. I know Kelly, that was what she would say. They're just women. You can do this. And they are. So I said to her, I'll refer to her as Jane. I said, Jane, by the way, do you happen to have a favorite color? And this face that was downturned and these eyes which were kind of dull and sort of in trauma looked up like that was a strange, like I was from the moon, but her eyes lit up and she goes, actually, yeah, I really like turquoise blue. And I go, great, good to know. And so then I went over through all the stacks of everything. And sure enough, there was a beautiful top that was a turquoise blue and it looked like it would be about the size. So by the time I got the clothes together and brought the stack over, that was on top. And again, she lit up. Here, this darkest moment, and her face changed. She said, that color is beautiful. She goes, can I try it on? I was, sure, go put everything on. So the end of my half an hour with her, she was outfitted and had extra clothes and she had some food for the night and all the personal care items that she needed, a good friend on her arm, and she was obviously feeling a little bit better, and we said our goodbyes. But then about 30 seconds later, she walked back down the hall and I was tidying up again, and she said, put her head through the Dutch door and just said, excuse me. And I said, hey, do you need something else? And she goes, I just want to, she looked me right in the eyes. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the blue top. I really, really love it. And then she left, and then she left. And the blue top symbolized for me that every single little thing that we do, that we say, that Gathering for Women is doing matters. Every single thing. And that you can change lives, even for a moment, just with a smile, a word, a hug, a meal, or a blue top. And every little thing that we've been doing and plan to do, every little thing and large thing that we have in the works for the future, I'm just so delighted to be part of this organization. And in my heart now I know, they're just women and every little thing matters, even like a blue top. So that symbolizes now, sometimes when I see blue, I think of that. And it was just one of the many poignant experiences, and I'm just so proud to be part of this organization. And thank you guys so much for being here and for helping to support our future plans. Really appreciate it.